No, ma'am.
Okay, everyone, switch on your videos. So we were talking about the sexual reproduction in flowering plants, wherein how we saw the flower being the most important part, and it is the reproductive part of the plant. In the flower, we saw the various parts that are present. We saw how every single part of a flower is present upon a swollen structure, which is called as a thalamus, right? Which is also known as receptacle. Now, upon that, all the other floral whorls or floral units or floral parts are present. Now, all in all, the flower has four whorls or four units present. What are they? There's androecium, gynoecium, calyx, and corolla. Androecium and gynoecium are the reproductive whorls, meaning they are directly involved in the process of reproduction. On the other hand, when we talk about the calyx and corolla, these are the accessory whorls, meaning they're not directly involved in the reproduction process, rather indirectly involved, and they help in the process of reproduction. So when we talk about the different parts of the flower, we know that androecium, gynoecium, these are the bigger units. In order for the ease of our understanding, we divide the bigger units into smaller ones. So the single unit of the androecium is called as the stamen. The single unit of gynoecium is called as the pistil or the carpel. The single unit of calyx is called as the sepal. And the single unit of corolla is called as the petal, right? Then these are the various things that we have just discussed. So a flower is the reproductive part of a plant. It has four parts or four units: androecium, gynoecium, calyx, and corolla. Androecium and gynoecium are the reproductive unit. Calyx and corolla are the accessory whorls or accessory units. Now, androecium is the male reproductive part of the flower, and the single unit of the androecium is called as the stamen. On the other hand, gynoecium is the female reproductive part of the flower, and a single unit of gynoecium is called as either the pistil or the carpel. And then the single unit of calyx is called as a sepal, and single unit of corolla is called as the petals. Now, we have to further discuss each of these parts in depth and their functions, to be exact. So the first part we're going to discuss is the stamen. What is a stamen? It is the male reproductive unit of the flower, which consists of two parts, anther and the filament. The anther and the filaments are the two parts of the stamen, wherein we see how the stamen is when it has the filamentous part. Okay, what is a filament? It is a thin, stick-like portion that sort of attaches the anther to the whole entire floral body, right? And this is the part where the anther is present. It is a slender, stalk-like structure for the attachment to the flower. Now, this filament can either be attached onto the swollen structure called as the thalamus, or it could be attached onto the petals. Either of the two cases can happen. Anther is a bilobe structure. Bilobe means this is lobe number 1, this is lobe number 2. So 1 and 2. Two lobes are present, so we call it as a bilobe structure. Now, inside the anther, the male gametes of the flower are synthesized. And what are they? They are the pollen grains. So, inside the anther, the pollen grains are developed. Okay? And always remember, in the characteristic feature of the anther is a bilobe structure. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
So if you see this picture, this is how the structure of the stamen looks like. And it's very important whenever you write about the stamen, you draw a little diagram as well. Also, students, I have been seeing your assignments or the homeworks that you people upload. So I'd like to tell you a few things. First of all, your diagrams are not nice. All of you have to work on your diagrams to make it better. You people draw it in a very haphazard manner and that looks very untidy. Understood? So try to practice your diagrams. You do not have to do shading and artistic stuff, but at least what you're drawing should be clearly drawn. Understood? It should be clearly like visible and understood to the teacher that, okay, this is what the student has drawn. So try to practice your diagrams whenever possible. And one more thing is that students, whenever you people get the homework assigned to you, do that. Understood? And if you have any doubts in the homework or you were not able to solve that answer, you can ask me whenever we have the next class. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And I have been seeing one thing that I've noticed in your answers. Specifically, you people write very, the answers in such a way that you don't even care. Like, for example, if it is asking you, what is a stamen? So you won't start like the stamen is a structure like this or the male reproductive part. No, you'll be like, it is this. No, so starting your answers with it is not the way you write your answers. Is it clear to everyone? So what I'm saying is that whenever you people open up your assignments to do them after the classes or the homework that we say, so do it with your heart. Okay. And no copying down answers from anywhere. Do it with your heart, meaning you try to write it in such a manner that how you would write it in examination. Because if you develop this technique or if you develop this habit of writing good answers here onwards, so in the exam, you people won't have any problem. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
So we talked about the male reproductive structure, that is the stamen. Now the next we have to discuss about is the pistil or the carpel, which is the female reproductive part or the female reproductive system. Now this is made up of three parts. What are they? Stigma, style, and ovary. Now stigma is the flat landing portion that this is the part where the pollen grain comes and lands at. Understood? Furthermore, there comes the style. Now style is that portion which connects the stigma to the ovary. Lastly, the basal bulgy part that you see right here, this is the ovary. So when we talk about the stigma, it is a flat portion where the pollen grains land. It can stick, basically, it is stick. The part, it is sticky to stick the pollen grains onto it. Okay, it is like very sticky so that whenever the pollen grains are elsewhere, they come and they'll like get stuck onto the stigma portion. Now, it has this ability with which it can catch, sorry, as for example, if this is the stigma and the pollen grain has landed over it. Now, how will the stigma recognize that it is the right type of pollen grain? So it has that capability wherein it can see or understand that, okay, this is the right type of pollen and this is the wrong type of pollen. So this ability to recognize the right or the wrong pollen is there in the stigma. Is it clear, students? After that, then we have the style. Now, style is the elongated part that continues beneath this stigma portion. And what does it do? It is that elongated part which is responsible for connecting the stigma to the ovary. Ultimately, we come on to the ovary portion. So it is the swollen and the bulgy portion of the flower, wherein inside of the ovary, there is the presence of ovule. And inside the ovule, there is the presence of the egg cell, which is the female gamete of the flower. So the three parts of the pistil are clear to you, students?
Yes.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
one more thing, generally, if you see the location of the pistil, so you would find that in a flower, usually the pistil is located right in the middle. So it is center in position whenever it is present in a flower, and the other parts such as the stamen and the other parts are then beside it. But right in the middle, we have the pistil present. So these are the two main parts of the female reproductive and the male reproductive systems of the flower. Furthermore, when we talk about the types of flower, so depending upon the sexuality, the flower is of two types, unisexual and bisexual. Uni means one. So when one flower, either it will have the female reproductive part in it only, or it will have the male reproductive part only. That's all. This is called as a unisexual flower. So in this type of flower, either the female reproductive, that is the pistil, or the male reproductive part called as the stamen are present, but separately. So two separate flowers, one will be the female and one will be the male. This is called as a unisexual flower, mostly found in papaya and watermelon. On the other hand, if we talk about bisexual flowers, so these are the ones that have the male and the female reproductive parts present in one flower, in single flower. Okay, so the examples are hibiscus, which is also called as China rose, and mustard. Now, if you see this flower, is it unisexual or bisexual, students? What is it? Unisexual or bisexual?
Unisexual.
How?
Bisexual.
How is it unisexual, Umer?
Because it has only female reproductive system.
You can't see the stamen. These are the male reproductive systems. So it has both. This is the male reproductive system. Several of them are there. Stamen is here. And in the center, there is also the pistil. You've understood what male reproductive system is? Umer?
Yeah.
Then you couldn't make it out. What is it? Like we saw the diagram here also. Not paying attention. This stamen that we studied about, which has anther and filament, this is it. This yellow structure that you see, these ones, this is a stamen only. Several stamens are present in the flower. Okay, and if you see the structure, this part is the bilobed anther and this part is the filament. Clear?
Yes.
Pay attention. Okay, so what is the last thing you people wrote? You people completed the diagram in the previous class?
Yes, ma'am. Till there we did. Till the drawing of the diagram we did.
Okay. All right. Okay, now you people note down till here. Then we'll move on to the next part, that is pollination.
I'm done.
Done, students? Everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Done, students? Shall I scroll down?
Yes, ma'am.
Does anyone have any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Done, students? Shall I scroll down?
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Not done.
No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Done. Ma'am, done.
All of you are done, students? Is everyone done? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you people have any trouble, any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm done.
Everyone's done till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So after this, we had also discussed the types of flower. Now let me give you a quick introduction of what pollination is. Now see students, once the male and the female gametes have been formed. Now you people know that in the sexual reproduction, the male and female gametes have to fuse as well. So how will it fuse? First of all, it would have to be brought together, right? So the male gamete, which is the pollen grain, which it has to be brought together towards the female gamete in order to fuse. And this process wherein the male gametes are transferred from the anther to the stigma, we call it as pollination. So this right here on your screen, you see the picture of pollination, wherein you see how these are the pollen grains that are being released from each of these anther. Okay, they're being released out. Now, these pollen grains, they are being transferred or they are being carried by the pollinators such as the insect. And when the insect goes and sits on the next flower, the pollen grains are transferred to the stigma of that flower. So this process right here that we are seeing is called as pollination. And what do we see in pollination? We see how the gametes are being transferred. So when we talk about pollination, it is the process of transferring the pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of a flower. Now the question comes along, why does it happen? What is the need? What is the use? So the transfer of pollen grains is necessary because when the male gamete will reach the female gamete, then only the fusion will happen and then only the zygote will be formed. Is it clear, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. So for today's class, we will be keeping it till here only and we'll discuss the types of pollination in the next class. Do you people have any doubts?